Hello everybody. So today I have for you a book haul. And I wasn't gonna do a book haul today. My little shelf on my TBR cart was not quite full, but I got more books today. Because I've been doing a little rough on the book buying van thing. And so I knew it was gonna overfill. So this is mostly a manga haul, actually. With three. I think I've got 3 books that are not manga. Well, how many do I have? Well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I got 17. 3 of them are not manga. So it's mostly a manga haul, plus a couple other things. The first one is not a manga. And that is a book that was in a lot of books that I got from my classroom, my new classroom. And then I realized that the classroom had this one already. So that's what 2 of these books are, the ones that are not manga. So I figured I would just keep it. And that is Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt. Now, I actually read this book this year for a novel study for my 7th graders back when I was teaching high school. And because I do 5th grade now. Okay, so we departmentalize, so I do 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade grammar and spelling and handwriting. But 5th grade is my main class, and I do the reading and stuff like that. So this is like a middle grade children's novel. So I was gonna put it in there, but we already have it, so that's okay. And I'm hoping to like it a little bit more if I reread it, without having to write assignments for it. Because I didn't, when I read it for that novel study, I didn't like it all that much. It was my first time reading it. I'm hoping that I like it better the second time around if I can just sit down and read it. This is about this girl who finds this group of people that have drunk the water from the stream that gives them eternal life. If I remember, it was kind of boring, but we'll see. Hopefully I like it a little bit more. Next, I got a whole shit ton of volumes of Inuyasha. I never got into Inuyasha. I never. I think I might have watched like a couple of AMVs or something when I was in high school. As far as I can tell, it's one of the like kind of classic shoujo adventures. I don't know what the hell it's about. Okay, so Kagome seems like an ordinary high school girl until she's transported to medieval Japan and discovers that her destiny links her to the powerful jewel of 4 souls and to half-man, half-dog demon named Inuyasha. Okay. Sure. But this is like manga. This is not actual manga. It's like animation from the hit TV series presented in comic book form. It's all in color. I have a bunch of random volumes. I have like volume 14. I have like volume 16. I have like a volume 24. Volume 21. Volume 18. Volume 17. And volume 28. And like I said, I don't know much about this series at all. But I'll read it, I guess, and then probably just give it to my old school that I used to work at. Then I've got a volume 11 in a very, very popular manga. I'm in my pajamas right now because it's 6:49 p.m. on a Thursday and I'm exhausted. This is a series that I didn't really ever get into, but I'm interested to. And so what I do when I'm buying manga, when I'm reading manga, is that if I were to get a volume of manga in, like, say, a lot on eBay, which is what these are from, and it's something that I haven't read other volumes of, but if I read it and I enjoy it, then I start going back to the front. Then I just start reading it from the beginning. And so when I look at these next large group of manga here, these are all very late entries into each series. But I'm going to read them as is. So there are some things, I've been trying to get better about not reading series out of order. I actually, on my most recent TBR, I had 3 books that were part of a series, and they were part of a series I hadn't started yet. And I believe in the TBR video, I was like, I don't even care that this is a book in a series I haven't read it. I'm just going to read it as is. And I decided against that. I put them, I have another special stack that have books that go onto my TBR that I like randomize and get onto my TBR that are part of a series I haven't read yet, or part of a series, or later on a series than I am. But the one thing where there are 2 things where that's a not really the case. One of them is manga, unless I am already on that route of reading it in order. And another one is children's books, like your Animorphs, Goosebumps, Artemis Fowl, any sort of children's book series, especially if I did read it as a child, I'll just throw any continuity out the window. So that being said, I did get volume 11 of Chainsaw Man. I remember buying this as a present for one, like not a present, but like a prize for some of my like kids last year when they hit 40 books or 20 books or what have you. I've heard lots of great things about this series, about the anime and the manga. It's one of the ones that's kind of taking everything by storm right now. So if I enjoy this, I will go back to number one and I'll read number one. I'll just kind of go forward that way. Another series that I know I had when I first started teaching, I had a couple of sophomores who love this series. And so I'm excited to kind of get into it, even if I'm starting at volumes 20 and 21. And that is Komi Can't Communicate. This is shoujo, I think. But no, it says shonen. I don't know. I don't really know the difference. I don't know much about this. But it's about this extremely awkward young woman. And again, if I read these and I really enjoy them and I want to start from the beginning, I'll go buy volume 1. I'll add volume 1 to like my list of manga that I'm buying. So yeah, we'll see. I think this is one that I could enjoy. We'll see. Then speaking of really, really deep, and I did read volume 1 of this series. I did. And I watched the first episode of the anime. And both of the anime and the manga really surprised me. It like pleasantly surprised me. This series has recently gotten a lot more buzz because it just got a live action adaptation, and a lot of people are saying is the like only good anime live action adaptation ever. So you already know what I'm talking about. But this is very, very late in the series. I don't know exactly how many volumes this manga has. But clearly it's a lot because we're in triple digits. And that is the 102nd volume of One Piece. Like I said, I read the first volume. I sure did. It was pretty good. It wasn't anything that like I wanted to like keep going really. So I figured, so I read it and I straight up donated it to the library in the school I was working at. And then I did still have it on my list. But then when I moved, and I stopped working at the school, I took out all the manga on that list that I was just collecting for the school, basically. So yeah, I'll read this and I'll donate it to school. And it was always kind of like a joke with like some of the kids who were reading manga that I never read it in order, and I would donate it in just such weird wackadoodle ways. And I'm sure that will bring some of this up. Again, these next two are also super, super, super popular. This next one was one, I really have no idea what this next one is about. I have like a rough idea with Chainsaw Man, a rough idea with One Piece, a rough idea with Komi Can't Communicate, and even a rough idea with My Hero Academia, which is, spoiler alert, not the last, but the next one I'm going to show you. This one I really got no goddamn clue. But it is very popular right now. And it did recently get an anime, I want to say, or it has an anime, a fairly recent anime. And I have volume 17. So again, if I read this and I really, really enjoy it, go back to number 1. But that is Jujutsu Kaisen. This is volume 17. I had kids who loved this series. They would read. They were really into it. They read it constantly. They loved it so much. I don't know what it's about. Okay, we got spirits. Destroy the world. Mysterious school. That's kind of cool. Okay. But yeah, again, if I really, really enjoy this, I'll go back to number 1 and read it. Then I've got, like I said, I've got My Hero Academia. I've got volume 34. I did actually watch the first episode of this series, so I do have a vague idea what the series is about. But again, this is volume 34. But if I really like this, I'll go back and get volume 1. Okay. Then I've got another one of my non-mangas. This one is another one that I bought a lot of all these books. Not all of them. I don't know how many books are in the series, but I think it's like books 1 through 5. And they already had book like 4 or something. So I just kept it because we didn't need 2 copies. And that is Artemis Fowl. This is the Opal Deception, which is, I believe, the 4th book in the series. When I was a kid, I read the first 2 books in the series over and over and over again. And then very rarely, like, I don't think I ever read anything past the second book in the series. But I might have. I don't remember. But I've got this. And then I've got another manga. This is one that they're not publishing in English. So I watched the first episode of the anime. I thought it was super cute, and I immediately went to go see if there was a manga. Because sometimes there's, mostly there's, but sometimes there isn't. And there was, but I couldn't find it in English. But I could find it in the other language I speak. I could find it in French. And I got the first volume. I haven't read it yet, but I recently got the second volume. And that is Babysitters by Haruhi Tokeno. This is about this kid who him and his little brother are kind of used to living by themselves, but then their parents tragically die, and they get taken in by like this school, and the only thing that they really have to do is that this young man has to take over this like babysitting club where like kids of like the teachers go, and the anime was super cute. So hopefully the manga is super cute. And the manga, I think with the pictures, the combination of like the pictures and the easy language make it so that even though like, I'm not saying my French is 100% fluent, but it's fluent enough to read manga. So there's that. And the last one is my own book. It's my most recent release. I'm very excited about it. It's one of the Odds Boys books, and the Odds Boys books are my absolute favorites. So if you've been around for a little bit, you'll know this, but if not, then I'll tell you. I'm a self-published author. I've self-published, I publish like 6 books a year, which is the main reason why I self-publish, is because if you traditionally publish, a lot of the times you're not able to publish that many books a year, and I like doing like 6 a year. So the Odds Boys series this is the 5th book in the series. And they're going to be, as of right now, I have written the first drafts for 15. So there's gonna be at least 10 more books. I have rough plans in my head for like 10 more after that. Because the thing with this series, it's not really a chronological series. It's more interconnecting companion novels. And they all kind of take place in different points in time. This last book does take place last chronologically. But the first book follows this kid, Zeke Williams, in 2004, and he is going into his junior year of high school. He really only cares about 2 things. He likes skateboarding, and he's in love with his best friend, Kevin. And the thing with One More Sad Song is when that started, I'll put up a picture right here, is that it was mostly like a parody of like early 2000s pop culture almost. Like this kid, like he hates his dad. He likes listening to like, what did he like, Taking Back Sunday. Like he's really, really, really stereotypical almost. He's got frosted tips. It's really fun. But then I kept like adding characters, and I just got really excited about it. The whole thing with these books is that it's about these kids some point in their adolescence, or in case of the next book, which is probably going to come out next year, like their young adulthood, what the time that changed their life the most. And they all take place in like the early aughts. We're kind of edging towards like mid aughts to like almost to 2010. This one takes place in 2006, but quite a few of them take place in 2001. None of those that are out so far yet. And so they all do kind of connect. And so some of them, like the 4th book, you shouldn't probably read without reading the 1st book. But the 2nd and the 3rd books you can read without reading any of the other books in the series. And this 5th book is the first book in the series where I would say read the entire series before I read this one. Because the 5th book is the Matt book. And so if you've read any books in the series, you know about Matt. You know that Matt, he's an antagonist in every book except for the 2nd one. And that's because the 2nd one's a straight up slasher. But Matt's this dick from Minnesota who all he does is he just constantly like hurts people. That's what he does. And so this takes place after they graduate high school, and Matt is realizing that he doesn't really have any options. He's pretty much fucked, and he's kind of dealing with that and how to emotionally deal with that when he's never really dealt with his emotions properly in his entire life. I think as I was writing this, I realized like, oh, like this kid could have been fixed with like CBS involvement, a punching bag in the garage, and a half decent therapist. Like he is writing this book. It's like he's an asshole, but he's so far from unsalvageable. Like if just like 3 things would have been different, he would have been fine. But yeah, I had a lot of fun writing this book. Every single time I write a new Odds Boys book, it's my new favorite book I've ever written. I don't know if it's the best book I've ever written. I think Like Hell might still have that. I used to say it was Crucifixion and Craig Knox. Like Hell took over, I think, last year when I published it. But I do consistently love the Odds Boys books the most. It is the 3rd longest of the Odds Boys books. It's not very big. It's like 200 pages, 220 or so, 230. I do have, as always, I like to put a playlist in the back of the Odds Boys books, just because I feel like music is such a big part of them, because they're all the titles kind of like shared with songs that mean a lot to the character. So the Matt playlist, I'll just, if you want to get an idea of what Matt's like, the first song is Animal I Have Become by 3 Days Grace. We got Just Did a Bad Thing by Bill Wirtz, Let 'Em Burn by Nothing More, Headstrong by Trapped, Daywalker by Machine Gun Kelly and Corpse, Until I Fall Away by the Gin Blossoms, which is where we got the name of the book, Knives and Pens by Black Veil Brides, All Signs Point to Lauderdale by A Day to Remember, The Only Hope for Me Is You by My Chemical Romance, Punching Bag by The Front Bottoms, No Good by Knuckle Punk, Make Damn Sure by Taking Back Sunday, Alibis by Mariana's Trench, and Oh Well by Mayday Parade. I love I love this series so much. I'm a little sad that I finished my Odds Boys book for the year, because I tried to publish one book in each series a year at least. And so once I've done one for the year, I kind of don't anymore. So I'm sad. But the next book is the Kevin book, which is gonna be fun. I've talked a lot about the Odds Boys series, but honestly, they're my favorite. I love them so much. And that's my book haul. There'll probably be another one soonish, but after that, I intend to like buckle the fuck down because I was on such a good goddamn streak. And we're not telling Steven that I broke the pass, because even though I 100% broke the bet, but we're not telling Steven. He's at a ball game right now, and he doesn't watch these videos, and this video won't be posted for years anyway. But I definitely did. But I can get back on track, and I will get back on track, and I'm fucking manifesting back on track. I do have a pass that I have not used yet, because I intend to not use a pass until the book wall gets to $18.99. We're at 19 something right now. I think 60. It was 1920. It was that's what drives me the fuck insane, is that it was 1920, and then I just fucking broke. I crumbled like a Lofthouse cookie. I fucking crumbled, and now I've got a lot to go to get back down to that. But I have that pass, and I've been kind of wanting to use it, because I'm like, it's no use, but I know if I use it, I'm gonna break fucking everything, you know. And so that's that. There will probably be one more book haul in the nearest future, but after that, I deeply intend. Obviously, I never intend to break the fucking pass. I deeply intend to go with my whole little plan now. I'm only using passes once I get down the next 100. Yeah, I'm still, I mean, it is still true that the book haul is smaller now than it was at the beginning of the year, which is a very new thing. I'm gonna say, like, the only year that I ended smaller than I began, ever since the book haul was like birthed when I was a junior in high school, was last year. Like, that's the only time that's ever happened. Every other year, it's been bigger. So we are on a good track. And it's gonna be smaller at the end of this year. We just got to get through the rest of these books coming that I fucking snapped on. I think it was the stress of a new job. I'm not gonna lie. But let's see how many more I have. Coming. Let's go to eBay. We go to purchase history. We sign in. We've got, this lot is just Dogman books, so these are just Dogman books that my classroom does not have, so they're going straight to the school. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, straight to the school. Unless one of them is the one that we have, it's like a random lot. YA ARC lot. I know I shouldn't buy ARCs. What the fuck is wrong with me? No, that's going straight to me. This looks like YA mystery book lot, but a lot of those, if not all of them, look like middle grader children's books. So likely 75% or higher of those will go straight to the school. YA fantasy book lot, same situation there. They all look like they're middle grade or children, so they're probably all going to school, if not all, most. A LGBTQ plus manga lot used yaoi and yuri. That's straight to me. Vintage Fright Time books, children's YA horror fiction. Those look like children's books, straight to the school. Horror book lot, The Hand of Cain, Penetrator number 49, Battered Moon Rising, Wolf File, and more. That's just for me. That's a movie. The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest manga lot, just for me. Christopher Pike Remember Me books 1, 2, 3. That's for me. That was delivered. Christopher Pike R.L. Stein YA horror lot. That's for me. Vintage R.L. Stein Goosebumps mixed book lot. So that one could go either way. So if they are books that are in the new covers, they're going straight to the school. If they are original Goosebumps books in the original covers, it's for me. If it's a newer, like, kind of like if it's like Slappy World or like Most Wanted or something, and it's for me. So it's that one's gonna be about half and half, is my guess. It's been delivered. Huge YA book lot, probably all for me. That's been delivered. Delivered. I think all of these other ones have been delivered. I think we're good on all these other ones. I think they've all been delivered. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We'll fucking see, I guess. We'll fucking see how this goes. But yeah, that's all I've got. I'll talk to you later, and goodbye.